Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request. And for anyone interested requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. I'll get to it as soon as I can. For those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. And as you can tell by the title, this is for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which came out in 2024. Now, before I get into the film, I still remember when that trailer for the first film came out. Everybody hated it, including me. And even though I didn't grow up with Sonic games, I do remember playing a couple of them and liking them. And just liking the character. Just seemed like a fun, joyous character. I played a bit of that Sonic game, Unleashed. I know I still have to play another part for Mark. I'll get to that as soon as I can. It may be a while, but I haven't forgotten, man. But yeah, I remember liking the character, not just the look of it and the speed of it, but like this could have potential, and I appreciate the fact that they listened to the fans. They went back, they fixed the design. And for what it was fun. It was a fun movie. It was a fun, entertaining family film. Ben Schwartz, I thought, did a good job voicing Sonic. They did a nice job fixing the design. And then throughout these films, honoring the fans. Bringing in Tails, bringing in Knuckles. Now we have Shadow. And at the very end, there's other things in there. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate the little Easter eggs. I thought they work well within these movies. But I remember, and I do remember saying this, that I wasn't looking forward to this film because I didn't want to be disappointed. A lot of sequels kind of come out and they're not as good as the first, or they're not, just dwindling, diminishing returns. Didn't trust Hollywood. But I gotta say, this I rather enjoyed. I thought this was perhaps the best of the movies, honestly. I would say I do like Sonic 1 and 2. I probably may like Sonic 1 more. This I thought was the best one. Because I thought they did a nice job where, thankfully, James Marsden and the other girl, they're not in this as much. They're in it a little bit. And there is no scene like the wedding scene in part 2 that stops the movie dead in its tracks. I thought this was the most well-paced. And this is the one I thought that Sonic, those two really were the stars of the film. It's either them, or it's Jim Carrey, or it's Shadow. It's mainly going back to those three, as it should. And it's not stopping for 15-20 minutes about some fucking wedding no one gives a shit about. Now, I still like Sonic 2. I still like that film, but I do think this was an improvement on it. Keanu Reeves, I thought, did a good job as Shadow. From looking up because I never played the games where this was featured. Unless Sonic Unleashed is, and I haven't gotten to that yet. But I did know a little bit about the Maria storyline. It looks like they follow that fairly well and give it the emotional beats as it deserves. So I thought Keanu Reeves in Shadow was a great asset to this, to the story. Idris Elba as Knuckles. Colleen O'Shaughnessey, I picture that name, as Tails. They're given their moments. They're given their due. They're not just useless characters. You definitely still have that sense of family. The action scenes are fun. The ending in particular, there are moments that remind me of like Superman or Goku with the ending, which was surprising but very cool to see. Jim Carrey is fun in these movies. I like him in all three. Here he plays two characters. And not every joke worked. Like him being obsessed with these telenovelas, Spanish, whatever, soap operas. Didn't really care about that part. So not every joke works, but there's a good chunk that I did like and enjoy. And actually, at the very end, kind of a nice emotional moment. I'm sure, I mean, they're going to make a fourth one. They're going to try to get Jim Carrey back. I guarantee you they're going to do everything they can. But I'm just saying, if they were to leave that character the way he ended here, I think that'd be a nice send-off. I'll put it that way. I like that they up the stakes a bit. There is someone that, well, how do I put it? It does up the stakes where there's are serious moments of danger. Like I said, I think the action scenes were pretty fun. I guess I gotta go into spoilers starting now. I don't know how else to word it. But yeah, I other than there's a few moments of comedy that I wasn't big on. James Marsden, I wish he wasn't in the film at all. And he has this stupid moment where he has like a puppet version of himself that I would just I like did this to this because I don't like James Marsden. He's a guy that defends pedos. Don't know what I'm talking about. Just watch that Nickelodeon the documentary Quiet on Set and what he did for Brian Peck. After that, I have zero respect for the guy. I know I'm supposed to separate the art from the artist, but in this instance, I can't. I'm sorry. Just how it is with me. But overall, I did rather enjoy it. Now, to get more into specifics, I like that they start off on a serious note with Shadow. He's dreaming. He has these nightmares. Now, I knew where it would lead up to, but it sprinkles a bit of it, and then you slowly find out throughout what's going on. He wakes up because someone's let him out. A bunch of soldiers have guns on him. And then it reminded me of Nightcrawler from X-Men 2. Where he can like teleport and he's like hitting this guy, kicking this guy, punching this guy, hitting this guy. I thought that was a very fun scene. Like I said, it reminded me a bit of Nightcrawler from X-Men 2, which is not a bad thing. So I did quite like that scene. I thought Keanu did a good job voicing the character. He brought some what he had. Just not like fucking Shakespeare or Oscar contender. Although fuck the Oscars, so maybe that's for the better. But what he's given, I think he gives the depth that it deserves. Meanwhile, Sonic is with Tails and Knuckles, and they're having a race. And then he sees that there's holograms of the other two. He's like, what the hell's going on? And they realize there's an anniversary. It's been this many years since you've come to Earth. There's this bit where he finds his old cave from the first movie. And to be fair, his friendship with James Marsden's character is a nice, touching moment. I thought this humor worked well. You didn't let your pain linger. I mean, the pain of not having a home. I always forget her damn name. The owl in the first movie. I always forget her fucking name. Not Tiger Claw, Lawn Claw. Name Lawn Claw. She pretty much Although you never saw her die, you assume she died. I wouldn't be surprised somehow they bring her back. But you're to assume she died. But I'm just saying you never technically saw it. So they could always bring that later. I would not be surprised if they did. And then he has to choose whether to go there or stay here. Maybe I give them an idea, I don't know. But I did like the bit where you didn't let your pain linger and does this, and Sana then goes, my lungs. Is that no, your heart. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. I just thought the way he said that was funny in a natural sense. That mistake. You have moments of the characters bonding with marshmallows, and then they're tasked by the military and such. There's an issue in Tokyo. We need Team Sonic. And Knuckles like, why is it Team Sonic? Why isn't it Team Knuckles? They go to Tokyo. You have that bit in the trailer. You're a colorful bunch. Why do you look like me? No, why do you look like me? So I didn't mind the little banter they had with each other. Definitely wrecks Knuckles. Shows how powerful Shadow is. That he's a foe to be reckoned with. And then you have a fun scene where Shadow's on a motorcycle with a gun shooting at Sonic while Sonic is dodging and doing what he can. So thankfully they don't make him look too much like a pussy. So obviously he can't defeat Shadow right now. Otherwise that'd be a quick movie. But it shows him, be able to keep up and, either following him on the motorcycle and dealing with the gun or going up the building. And again, showing that, again, he's not a fucking pansy. They go together and punch. He wakes up and he realizes he's been handcuffed. It's like, damn. So just something about that. I don't know how else to explain it because I just think they did it in a way where he still loses. The bad guy still gets away. But you don't make it look like he's never learned anything and he's the Crytek Part 3 angle. I'll put it that way. Tails and Knuckles get to him. They find a place in Tokyo, which I forget where it's called, but it's like people in these weird big suits. I'm not sure what that place is called. I did think this was funny. A bunch of kids look up to Tails and go, "Are you Detective Pikachu?" And Sonic is like, "Yes, he is." And then Knuckles makes fun of Tails, and Tails look. Actually, you have actually fun banter with each other, and they act like a family. It's not like they split up and you never see them together again till the end of the film. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or other stuff. So I like that for a good chunk they are together as a team. I appreciate that. We did a little bit of the backstory of 50 years ago, what happened with Shadow. Not the whole story, but a bit of it. And the commander that we saw, I think he was the guy in the first film about the Olive Garden thing, I think. Actually, these robots come that you think are Robotniks, but they're someone else's. They shoot it up. And the commander dies. So you actually have someone fucking die in one of these movies. Which was a surprise. Granted, I wish someone else, another character had died. But I knew they would never do that, but the fact that they had a character die, I was kind of surprised. It's okay, it's a step in the right direction to show a little bit of seriousness and that, there is real danger and it's not just kid games anymore and it's not Lethal Weapon or anything, but it's, it's a step in the right direction of taking things a little bit more serious, but still being a family film. So, and also I appreciate there are no fart jokes. There's no like in the first two films there was at least one fart joke. Like there was when Sonic is in the hotel room and had the bathrobe, and there was a little fart joke. And then in the second one, it was more of Sonic making that fake thing. Oh, stand back! There are no you ate too many chili dogs, and he's making he's making the sound. I didn't even mean to do that. My body's literally being not wanting me to talk about it. That's what like the hiccups are coming from thinking about it. But they didn't have any of that in the movie. In this movie, I'm like, thank you. You listened. Well, you didn't listen to me, but there's no fart jokes. There's no 20-minute stupid wedding scenes bullshit. It was better paced. I think this actually is a bit shorter than the second film. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Somehow, some way, some form, someone listened. I don't know who, but thank you. Sometimes it's not that difficult. Shit. So they're given this key from the commander before he dies. And then they realize, well, there's someone we need to talk to about this. This guy comes in a motorcycle. They chase him. It's Agent Stone, who works for Robotnik. It's like someone wants to talk to you. Gets Team Sonic to where Robotnik is, where he's watching these Spanish novellas. Now, again, I didn't think that stuff was funny, but I still like Jim Carrey in these movies. Even if they're not the best jokes, he's still a fun character for me to see him play. And there are moments that still made me laugh. There's one bit later on, like near the end of the film, where he's with another character. And he tells someone to look, and he does like... and the certain line he says after it, that did make me laugh. So he's still great to see him in these movies. It is. That's why I think they're going to keep him there as long as they possibly can. So pretty much he finds out where these robots come from, and they're going to team up together and go over there. Meanwhile, you go back to Shadow, and you see a bit more about Shadow and Maria and the way they bonded with each other and how they met with each other and how she went up to him and like made this drawing of him when he was in this tube and did the Star Trek 2 thing. And they're bonding in terms of he's staying around and pulling her around, or other stuff that they're doing, going outside, looking at the stars. So it was nice to have a bit more of taking things at least a little bit more serious. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's the most original thing or it's the most in-depth thing, but, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the try. I appreciate what they were doing with this. And for I understand, this is very essential part of all this Sonic lore is Shadow and Maria. And seems like a lot of fans, they felt the same way, that they didn't turn to a joke or a gag, or they didn't fuck around with it too much. So I appreciate that. I wish we could have seen more of Sonic and Robotnik having to work together. There's a bit where they walk in and he kind of bumps Sonic and says, "On my way, Dortupine." Like, I kind of wish we could have seen a bit more of them kind of bantering back and forth while trying to work together. Just a couple more scenes of that would have been entertaining to see. But again, there's some humor throughout that I liked. I like the idea that Knuckles, if he's afraid of something's ghosts, and it shows a little flashback where they're watching a movie, and the movie he was scared of was Casper. And he's like, "There's no such thing as a friendly ghost." So another 90s movie to be referenced. First we had Speed in the first film, now we have Casper. Eventually they get caught, and we find out that the other guy is grandfather Gerald, who's the grandfather of not only Maria, who, spoiler, died back then, and that's why Shadow's so pissed off and wants revenge. This was his one and only friend who died. but also Gerald was a grandfather to her, but also a grandfather to Jim Carrey's character. Jim plays both, but Robotnik. The other Robotnik we've seen the other movies. Now again, not all the humor didn't work for me. Like, there's this bit where they break the fourth wall. It's like, it's two actors playing the same role, and they look at the camera. I didn't really need that in this kind of movie. I don't need you breaking the fourth wall in this film. This ain't Deadpool, it ain't Ferris Bueller. You didn't need to do that. So like I said, not every joke worked for me, but it was still fun to see Jim try to play two different roles and how he differentiated both of them. And there were still moments that did make me chuckle. Some of the banter they had with each other. But I don't want to give everything of that away. The big bad is this weapon, the Eclipse Cannon. And apparently you need two T's, so they've got one from Sonic. Now they're going to get the other. Team Sonic is tied up, but they find a way to escape. While the two Robotniks are spending time with each other, Team Sonic goes back to James Marsden and his wife. Again, I don't like James Marsden. I kind of wish his character died. I knew they wouldn't do that. They did kill a character, just not him. He pulls this thing out with he's got like a puppet version of himself. It was so stupid. I thought it was like the dumbest joke in the movie. But thankfully he's not in it a whole lot, which I appreciate. Like the human element is, if you don't count Jim Carrey, the human element is very, very much in the background. And I think that was a good idea. That was a good plus. And they have this plan to get in this facility and use this USB. And Sonic later gets in, but then they all get trapped. The two Robotniks do this whole dance scene when they're going through these lasers, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm kind of 50-50. I guess they like, well, Sonic and Tails had a dance scene in the second film, so we need a dance scene in this one. I'm like, do we really, though? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not... I wasn't 100% gun-ho on that. Like, it didn't hurt the movie that much for me, but I'm like, I don't know, man. But Sonic has his moments to shine. There's this rubble falling down. He rolls to a ball and crashes right through it. Kind of like how you would do in the game. We get to see the full flashback later on of what happened to Maria and why Shadow is so pissed off about it. Tom, James Marsden's character, gets the other key, and then Shadow hits him pretty badly, which pisses off Sonic. He goes to the hospital, and so that makes Sonic pissed. And I like that. I like seeing a bit more angry, serious Sonic, where he's ready to fight and ready to try to kick Knuckles' ass and try to find out, does he wants the Emerald, the Chaos Emerald. And we do get Super Sonic again. We even get a Super Sonic versus Super Shadow. And that's where you get... I wish it was longer, but I'm being greedy on that. But it was kind of cool to see. It did to remind me of like Superman, Man of Steel, or Goku fight where they're just going around the world bashing, and like Sonic's hitting these big hits to push Shadow back, but then Shadow's fighting back. Like I said, I do wish it was longer. But yeah, I know I'm being greedy on that. But it was still a fun fight to see, and then Sonic gives his fuck you uppercut to the Shadow, which was satisfying. Which flies right up to the fucking moon. And then Sonic to take care of it, but then remembers his lesson. And I like that Sonic can at least understand where Shadow's coming from. But he just, that's not the right way to do it. And obviously, number one, you're not going to kill James Marsden's character because they would feel that would be too intense for kids and families. And number two, if he did, then Sonic would not be willing to not only forgive but understand Shadow's plight if he killed was pretty much his father figure. So I understand. But I thought that was a decent scene between the two. And then they work together, fighting all these robots in space. Which I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the fucking fight in space with all these robots that are coming out of this weapon that's station that's in the sky, but it did, and they're getting their moments to shine, and they're using like the guns to shoot the other things, and that was a whole lot of fun. I didn't expect that, but it definitely got bigger. And I thought the ending was nice. People got their moments to shine. Knuckles and Tails were able to help Robotnik to fight the more evil Robotnik. Because even the other Robotnik's like, I want to rule the world. I don't want to destroy it. While the other's like, no, I want to destroy it as revenge. And they killed Maria and nothing else matters. But you got me. You're no Maria. I actually liked that line. I thought that line kind of hit fairly strongly. You're not her. You're nothing like her. Like something to that effect. I'm like, ooh, that's definitely a sting. And then like the two Jims fight each other. I thought that was funny when the two of them are fighting each other. Because then the other Robotnik may be a lot of things, but he doesn't want to destroy the world. He just wants to rule it. And then the other's like, no, I want to blow it up. Like the Death Star. That's the one where the younger one, hey, what's that? And does this to the older one. And he has a funny line. I thought that was a pretty entertaining bit there. I liked that. But yeah, they get their moments to shine. Just like I said, like Tails and Knuckles help Jim not only stop the other one, but pull the laser around so it doesn't destroy the Earth. Although they destroy a little bit of the moon. While Sonic and Shadow deal with all these, and then they're blocking the laser to give enough time for them to move it out of the way. So it doesn't, someone's not felt useless. So I'm getting that. Just sometimes you get these things, it's like, well, he didn't need to be there. He didn't do shit. But here's like everyone has their, moment to shine. Even when Sonic's falling, then Tails goes after him, and then Knuckles goes in for the full save. To still keep that unit of teamwork and family involved. And I said, even Jim Carrey has a nice emotional moment where he thinks everything is done. He gives one moment to Agent Stone, admitting that you're the only guy that cared about me, and in a way calling him a friend. I thought Jim pulled off the performance well as the guy who's Agent Stone, and they didn't pull some cheap, stupid laugh out of it. Like, if it was kind of sincere and they let it go, I kind of appreciate that. And that's what I mean. Like, they're going to have Jim for other films. They'll do whatever they can. Because there's some people that's like, they'll see if it's Jim Carrey. And it's like, oh, if it doesn't have, I think there's going to be some people that's like, if Jim's not in it, they're not going to be interested. Now, that's not me, but I think there are people that do feel that way. So, again, they're going to have him more, but if this was a final send-off, I thought it actually worked well. And then Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles have a nice, good final moment between them. Into another race. And then they have a nice setup for the next one. Where, during the race, Sonic went too far. I said spoilers, so there you go. And there's these metal Sonics, which I remember the metal Sonic from that one. There was an animated movie where a big part was him fighting the metal version of himself. And here there's a bunch of them. So, gee, that's cool. And then someone destroys all of them, and it's Amy Rose. Now, to be honest, I'm not. I may say I like Sonic and play some of the games, but I'm not the most knowledgeable on the lore. So the games I played didn't have a whole lot of Amy Rose in them. So I'm not 100% familiar with her and what she does, other than she has this mallet thing. But obviously they have an idea for the fourth film, these metal sonics and what that's all about. And but something about that scene was also interesting, where you see in the sky this broken moon. You see these metal sonics and Amy Rose and all these other characters popping out of the woodwork. It's like we're slowly getting to the point that's going to be more and more like the games. Again, my only thing is I wish we could see the environments from the games, like the casino world and other stuff. I wish there was a way to incorporate those levels, those worlds, into these games. I think that would be really nice to see and showcase. So again, I mean, the only nitpicks I have is that it'd be nice to see and not just be on Earth all the time. Yeah, not all the jokes worked, but I mean, there's enough that make me entertained. You know, other than maybe the telenovela Spanish soap opera stuff, the dance bit, and James Marsden with his puppet. Maybe those are the only three that I kind of cringed at. The rest I was fine, or laughed, or chuckled, or smirked at. The music I thought could have been better. I thought, I kind of wish they incorporated the music, the Michael Jackson song that was pretty much in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Just people don't realize, if you listen to the Sonic 3 soundtrack, there are moments that are like Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson was a part of that game, or let his music. In fact, if you even beat Sonic 3, the song playing is pretty much Michael Jackson's song, I believe. So I wish they would have incorporated that into it, since this is Sonic, 3. That would have been great to have. See, I think that's a missed opportunity to have more like Michael Jackson. I have Michael Jackson songs in it, but maybe they thought if they did that, then it's like, oh, I have a guy who did all this stuff to kids, even though it was never proven, and he was found innocent. But that's a whole other argument to have. Maybe it's like we don't want to have that argument. But I mean, the music, I mean, it's kind of there in one ear out the other. I did like the Easter eggs. I mean, in the race, there's a bit where he goes by a sign and it does this. Kind of like if you're finishing a level and that thing will go that. Like, I noticed little things like that, which was nice to see. But those just nitpicks. I thought this was a lot of fun. I thought this was entertaining. I thought I would even put this better than the second film. I thought it went at a better pace. There wasn't really elongated scenes that stopped the movie dead in its tracks. Keanu Reeves as Shadow was a nice plus. Oh, and they do have a little scene where it seems Shadow did survive. He made it seem like he's dead, but he did. I guess he did survive. Now, whether Keanu Reeves will come back for another one, who knows? I mean, I guess it's voice acting. I mean, which is a bit easier to do because you just go in and you don't have to train or do anything. I mean, he's getting a bit old to do John Wick movies and other stuff, so maybe. Well, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I look forward to the fourth one. The fourth one, I will be less pessimistic about it. Of course, I say that, then that'll probably be the one that sucks. But I'll right here say I'll be more optimistic and less pessimistic on Sonic 4, because I liked all three movies. course, the last time I did that, you had John Wick 4, and that pissed me off. So maybe I take back everything I said. Fuck it. I take back everything I said. But no, I'll be more optimistic than Sonic 4. And if it goes bad, it goes bad. Because this, again, if I were to do my favorite films of 2024, this would be in my top 5. It'd probably be, I don't know, maybe number 4. Maybe number 3, number 4, somewhere in there. But it'd be in the top 5. I did like it. Maybe another watch, it'll go a bit higher. Who knows? But I did quite like the film. It was a nice step up from the second film. And again, I liked the second film, but this I thought they did a bit better job, and the ending seemed a bit more epic feeling. And they definitely upped the stakes for that, so I appreciate it. And they dumbed down the fart jokes, like they don't have that in there, and I can see they did stuff that, I do appreciate, and that sometimes little goes a long way for me. So thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.